Hey everyone, good afternoon. North Star Knife Reviews. Sitting out here in the garage on a rainy, chilly, probably in the upper 30s Fahrenheit here. You may occasionally hear a plane going overhead, depending on the weather. Sometimes my house is in the flight path. Anyway, wanted to get this out. It's a response to an open tag from Knife Delights. And if you haven't seen Knife Delights, you really should check out the channel. Great traditionals on there. Anyway, he has an open tag saying, "Show me your Stockmans." Okay? And I always wonder, is it Stockmen or Stockmans to make the plural? I don't know, maybe we should just call them Stockman knives. I don't know. Anyway, Stockmans, Stockmen, whatever you want to call it. I have 11 right here. I know I have at least a few more somewhere, but I wasn't able to find them when I was looking just this morning. But as I say, I've been out here in the garage. I've been working on roughing out another handle for a knife, and thought, oh, I'll grab these and do these at the same time. So anyway, Stockman. Now, when I think of pocket knives, and my dad, it was the one knife that I remember him carrying was a Schrade Old Timer Stockman, the 8OT. Now, I've got one of those. It's a Chinese made one, more recent. But I couldn't find it this morning, and I know it's around in my bedroom somewhere. But anyway, I do have the 8OTB, which is the same basic Stockman knife, except that it has bone rather than Delrin handles. You can see the coloring on the bone is a little sloppy, but otherwise it's still not a bad knife. And they use a different steel on the bone ones. The OTB old timers use 9CR series steel instead of 7CR. So basically, if you get the bone ones, check to make sure they're still doing it, but they used to use 9CR, which is basically 440C as opposed to 440A. They're both fine steels. The 440C is going to hold an edge longer. All right. And I'm not going to go through these in detail. I'm just going to do them very quickly because I have to get back to work here in a second. But there is the Schrade Old Timer OTB. Now, I also have this Schrade Old Timer. And whoops, just knocked over it by yourself. Sorry about that, guys. And this one, I forget what this is. Is this the 34? Hold on. Let me see if I can find the... Might not be on here. Okay. I'm afraid I'm not sure. Oh, there it is. There it is. Sorry. It's my eyes getting old. It's the 108 OT. The 34, I believe, is the middleman. Now, I mean, for me growing up, this is the size my dad had, so that's the size I associate with it. But these smaller ones can be kind of nice if you need just a little bit smaller carry. Another old timer, but this one is not by Schrade. This is an Ulster 58 OT old timer. You can see it's a little more of a longer, less dramatic clip than on some of the others, more of a California clip. And this also has a pen blade rather than a sheep's foot blade. We then have one from Case. Okay, decent little knife. Let's see here. This is a what would this be? I think there are 6 of them on this. So this would be, I believe this was 1980s, so 84. You guys can double check me on the tank stamp, but I think this was from 84. But again, pretty basic. Has again the pen blade on this. But pretty nice fit and finish on this. This was back in the day when the Case, I think, had a little better quality control. And then this may be the smoothest finish I have ever felt on a Stockman. Okay, this is a Boker. You can see Zollingen. This is a little larger. Again, see here. Whoops. Here's the tang stamp at the back. So you've got just a little bit larger again than the Schrade. Not by much, but just a tiny amount. Okay. Actually, in this, they actually look about the same here. Looked a little bit larger when they were closed. Anyway, The Boker, very nice, yellow, smooth bone, really quite nicely put together on this. Probably the best fit and finish of any of them that I've got. A couple of Imperials. Okay. Or excuse me, this is a Rough Rider. The Rough Rider Midnight Swirl series. And this is, what model is this? RR 959. Okay. I haven't seen any other knives in this particular handle treatment from Rough Rider. But there you go. This one is from Imperial. See here, Imperial, USA. Again, has that longer California clip as opposed, to the more traditional clip point. Has the pen blade and the spay blade, as typical. And again, all of these knives have pretty much the same complement of blades. We've got a little buck. Now this is a Chinese-made buck. This is the 373 in wood, and then I have a U.S.-made buck, the 303, and that's got the Delrin handles and the hammer shield. Now, interesting thing about these bucks is that they switch the position of the spay blade from most. See, most of the Stockmen, at least the one I have the spay blade at the same end as the clip, and then, or excuse me, the sheep's foot blade at the same end as the clip, and then the spay blade at the other end. These bucks, however, have the sheep's foot blade at the opposite end. Oops, that's the Imperial. There's the buck. Have the sheep foot blades at the opposite end from the other two, instead of having the spay blade at the opposite end. Not sure exactly why they did that, but it's kind of interesting. Then this, which is probably the one I carry the most often these days, this is a Rough Rider, and this is a very large Stockman, very useful. You can see I've got some patina going on this one, and this is the RR 1740. Really nice size, full handful there, and I usually carry it just in this little leather pocket slip that I got somewhere, I don't even know where, but fits really nice in my pocket. Then finally, this Camillus. This is, see, Camillus Yellow Jacket. Yellow Jacket name was used way back when they were in the US, but this is a Chinese-made Camillus. Let's see, there's the Yellow Jacket. And this has this sort of carbon fiber inlay. That's kind of cool. This reminds me very much of the 70s for some reason, just the look of it. Anyway, this one uses AUS 8 steel. These will use the 420 HC. The Imperial and the Rough Rider are probably both 440A. The Boker, I believe, is in 1075, but I'm not 100% sure. The case, this one is in their case True Sharp, which is basically 420 HC. And then these, I think, are in 1095. And this one is in basically 440C. Anyway, hope you guys liked this little look at these knives. Oh, one other thing about this Camillus, comes in this kind of cool little box that makes it nice if you want to give it to somebody. Anyway, thank you to Knife Delights for this open tag. Thank you all for indulging me and watching. You all have a good day. I'll catch you next time.